sleep and setting the alarm, and then years have slipped by and you say, gee, I always loved doing that and haven't done it for years. The way that it doesn't slip by is by identifying what your loves are, categorizing it the way I've said, and writing a goal to actually implement it.
Fabulous. I love how specific you are. Thank you, Raymond. Now, you have said in your work that you believe every single person should own their own business. So we've gone through the process you've outlined. We're clear about what we love. Why is it so important that we should start our own business?
Well, first of all, I don't mean that there aren't any good salaried employees. I honor every salaried employee. I employ lots of them, so I've got nothing to say against them. But I think you should also do either a full-time business or something on the side, and the reason is this. When you apply for a job, to some extent, maybe to a large extent, you're doing what the employer wants. And as the job changes, you are forced to change whether or not you like that change. As an entrepreneur, to a large extent, you create the job. And the changes that occur are the changes you create, the changes you want. And as a result, there's more absenteeism, and every one of your listeners knows this. There's more absenteeism among employees than entrepreneurs. Everybody knows that. And the reason is because you get to do more of what you love as an entrepreneur and less of what you love as an employee, as a general statement. And I want people to do what they love. That's my thesis, Chris.
Yeah, well, we want that too. Fabulous. Thank you, Raymond. So here's the challenge. Someone wants to create wealth. They want to follow their passions, but they just don't have a clue how to get started. Even if they say, okay, yeah, I should have my own business. But where do you start, Raymond? How do you figure out how to take the first step?
Well, most people don't know what they love. It's so sad. When I teach people how to identify what they love, there'll always be one person in the audience who just breaks out crying and says things like, I've never asked myself that question. I earn a very good living. I've got a family, 2.5 kids, 1.5 dogs. I've never asked myself, what do I love? I mean, there's these big questions like religion. Doesn't matter what religion is. Religion only asks 3 questions. Where did I come from? What am I doing here? Where am I going next? People don't ask themselves those questions. They're like huge life questions. People don't ask themselves what their mission is for being here. When your life's over, what did you accomplish? You might as well ask now than on the last day. And I am shocked that people are never taught to ask themselves those questions. I was never taught that. I thought that the job of life was to study math and get good marks. I didn't know anything else.
And you were good at that, weren't you?
Identifying what you love and move towards what you love every month. In fact, in my monthly mentor program, I teach people how to take 6 steps towards what they love or 6 steps away from what they don't love each month. So by the end of the 17-month program, everything around them is what they love, and there's nothing around them they don't love, and they've made it. But it's not one step. You don't just say, okay, I love horseback riding, so therefore I'm rich. It's not like that. You have to move towards it. You have to get rid of things you don't love, do more things you do love, and over the months or years, you start moving into that correct arena.
Okay, so Raymond, are you saying then that as we discover and begin aligning our lives with the things that we love, then the path or the direction that will allow us to support ourselves doing that will become clearer? I mean, you decided you were going to be a teacher and a speaker. How did that turn into actually making money doing what you love?
Well, I just kept casting about. I applied for this job. I applied for that job. I asked somebody if I could speak for them for free. I just did everything I could until finally the way clicked in. But yes, according to the law of attraction, which you and Janet are eminently familiar with, the more, whatever you put your energy on, that is the parallel universe that you'll pull towards you. And I don't know, maybe that seems too airy-fairy to your listeners, but that's what I believe. And the more you concentrate on what you love and the more you notice what you love, the more you walk around being conscious of what you love, so that if you see a book or a movie or somebody says, oh, let's go to this, and say, oh, yeah, that would work for me. The more you're conscious of it and the more you keep moving in that direction, the more you'll meet people who are doing that, the more you'll subscribe to those things which will teach you more about it, and the more and more and more you'll make the connections, both with other humans and also inside your brain. The synapses will start connecting so that you'll move in that arena. I mean, why does it take 10 years for a neurosurgeon to become a neurosurgeon? It's not that it's 10 years of book learning. It's rather that the synapses take 10 years to start connecting the right way. There is time required to move you in the right way. And so the sooner you can identify what you love and the more energy you put into it, the more focus you put into it, the more you keep moving in that direction. And it works. And it's not linear, and it's not perfect, and you don't just take one step up. It's more like snakes and ladders where you go up and slide down and up and slide down, but you get there. And if you want to be comfortable, you'll always be broke, because the only people who are comfortable are broke. Everyone thinks that the rich people are comfortable. It's the rich people who are the most uncomfortable because they are willing to go outside of their box. And so you have to go up and down and up and down, but if you keep relentlessly moving towards what you love and keep thinking of what you love and putting your energies in what you love, you'll find your passion and you'll go there no matter how absurd it seems. Like, people say to me, what do you do? And I say, I help people double their income doing what they love. And then they say to me things like, oh, I love sleeping in, ha, 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 as if to disprove my theory, as if, okay, I give up, you're right, I'm going to resign from life. People have come up with the weirdest things that they love and then started wildly successful businesses doing just that.
Well, but Raymond, forgive me, don't you have to have money in order to start making money doing what you love? I mean, if you're going to start a business and you want to do this entrepreneurial thing and really pursue your passions and what you love, don't you have to have investment capital get started? I mean, it seems like that's one of the big blocks for many people, is that they feel like they know what they love, but they just don't have the funds to start.
Well, let's go through some examples. There are 500,000 people, believe it or not, 500,000 people who make their full-time living as entrepreneurs selling on eBay, and you don't need